The law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, rules in my heart, my city and a map. I was in the field, you're sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Settle it. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down on the ground, now I'm up for the fight. I'm on it. See sight at the dark, now it's into the light. Alpha mode down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Done dirt but my crep stay clean. Step for me, view, boy, I am me. Look at my tongue with the verses. Clean sheeting him and I'm on the verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the purses. Death match and their families in hearses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. See out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
Very good afternoon and welcome to Matchday Live Extra. I'm Mikey Burrows. As ever, alongside me here at the Golden Palace is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, and the future Hall of Famer, the man who is so relaxed that he gets lower and lower down in his chair as the programme progresses. Lee Naylor is with us as ever, to the huge delight of the Lee Naylor fan club that messages us every single week on Twitter every time he is here. We will discuss before kick-off Adama Traore and his form. We'll talk about the team news today. We'll talk a little bit about Daniel Podence as well and the role that he's playing in amongst this group too. As ever, we want to hear from you and what you have to say on all the situations that are going on around the football club right now. You can use the hashtag Wolves Live, at Mikey Burrows, at Wolves on Twitter. Get involved in the conversation. Before we kind of get into the game today and the game on Tuesday, there is only one place that we can really start. It is the situation regarding the managerial situation, really, Tomo. We learnt this week that Steve Davis is going to stay in charge now for the rest of this year. What's your reaction to that, I guess, first and foremost? And how much do you think that Steve has had an impact so far on what you've seen?
Well, you've seen that the players are backing him as well as Salah, coming out and saying that they're enjoying the coaching, they're enjoying the training, what they're having, which is a big plus. But also as well, Salah, that they don't want to be rushed into just putting anybody or appointing anybody. They want the person that they want as their number one and their manager. And look, don't matter how long it takes. It's given them. I think that the World Cup's probably given them a little bit of breathing space, because you've got that little bit of a period where you can start to have a look and try and sort things out between that and Boxing Day. But look, it's great for Steve. So look, at the end of the day, Wolves fan, privilege of being the manager of his club. So look, say all good, all the best to him. So look, he's just got to try and make sure that he implements what he wants in the period that he's got before we break up for the World Cup. But also as well making sure that he does everything that he wants to and what he wants to get out of the job as well.
Lee, I think we all kind of admit this is far from an ideal situation that clearly the club did not want to be in. And I'm sure there are things that if they could go back and do them differently, they absolutely would. But how much do you look at the situation now and go, well, at least we now know where we're going to be for the next 4 or 5 games. And that gives everybody an opportunity to take a pause and to know what they're doing for the next month.
Yeah, I think it just gives everyone in the building that clarity.
Well, Lee's just frozen on his screen, but we can hear you, mate, if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, as
talking.
I said, it gives you that clarity for everyone going forward in the building. And I think it's better that way for players to moving on, especially on the pitch with the management side of it. I think it was the right call, especially when we didn't get the people that we wanted. So, reassess. World Cups give us a break, like Tomo said, and we can go again.
I love it, by the way. It's like those old-fashioned programs where we get someone up on the phone and you just have a picture of them in situ on there. It's brilliant the way that you've been posting. It looks like you're actually paying attention to what I'm doing, which might be the first time we've ever had that on the program.
I'll keep that picture for yourself, then, mate.
Listen, I've got a lot of time for Steve. I don't think I can ever hide that. I've known him a long time. Obviously, Tomo, you've known him an incredibly long time. And I know how passionate he is about doing this job and trying to get things right. And I think, whilst there is obviously lots of frustration at everything else, I think it's important that that frustration is not put onto Steve and the players who are absolutely working their hardest to try and turn things round.
Look, we've all been involved in situations like this where no matter what you do, things just don't click for whatever reason it is. And like you said there, he'll be absolutely working his right to make sure that we try and get 3 points in any of the games that we're going to be playing until that break. He'll be trying everything that he can think of to get us to score goals, to keep clean sheets, to give confidence to players on the pitch and everybody else surrounding the squad. And that's what he's going to try and do. And look, he's not going to give up. He's not going to say, basically, I can't do this. He wants to do it. He wants to take this team on. And it's just great that he's got the chance and the opportunity for him to go out there and try and put his stamp on things as well. Look, he's got some experience as a manager, so he knows roughly what it's like. He probably don't understand about being in charge of your home team as well. But I just think that there's an opportunity for him. He's going to enjoy it, but also as well, he's going to make sure that he works the hardest that he can to try and turn this around for us.
And in terms of what we saw on the pitch on Tuesday, Nails, generally kind of Wolves didn't play that badly. They made some defensive errors and it cost them in the game. And that age-old issue that we know is an ongoing thing in terms of being able to create chances and take them. However, we saw a young man in Hugo Bueno deliver a great cross and Wolves got a goal from it. And that gives us hope, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, look, they don't, all of a sudden turn into bad players. It's one of them where you just got to breed confidence back into the players. They've got to work hard on the training field every day, and see what comes of it. I mean, that's all Steve can do as a manager. All the players have got to do is work hard and get back to some sort of form.
Right, we will try and get Nails unfrozen in a moment. I mean, it might help if Tomo, if you just turn this way as well, and then we can all just kind of look across and pretend then that we're all kind of frozen, so it doesn't look completely out of place for Nails to be like that. But we'll take a look back at the best of Tuesday night's game at Sellers Park, and hopefully we'll have a moving Lee Naylor in just a couple of minutes. Mr. Corey to strike one from distance, comes back off the post. Jose Sarr was beaten. Here comes Mateus for Wolves, driving forwards, good powerful run, carried it a good 40 yards or so, leaves it for Traore to look to drive infield midway inside the half. Now for Daniel Podence, trying to feed it through. Here's Diego Costa with a big opportunity. Oh, and it's just somehow scrambled wide. Podence, Neves, first time ball. Here comes Bueno, time down the left-hand side. Can he pick someone out in the penalty area? It's a great cross. Adama Traore's header, and Wolves are in front at Sellers Park. What a delivery from Bueno. Laid it on a plate, and Adama Traore snatched his goal. Neves to step up. Over the wall, off the inside of the post, and somehow scrambled away for a corner, and that's the very final action of the half. This is Wilfried Zaha. Out to the right-hand side to Elise. Elise trying to cut out field onto his left foot, delivers across to the far post, and Palace are level. Just like that, Eze arriving 5 yards out. Semedo trying to play it in behind, looking for the run of Adama Traore. Traore just about holds on to possession. Now a clever pass to find Daniel Podence into the penalty area. Podence shooting and just lifted over the top. Infield, low ball in towards Edouard, teed up for Schlupp. Now Elise lifted back into the box, overhead kick, and it's wide. taken on by Eze up towards halfway, looking for the run of Edouard. Collins will get back to him. Odson Edouard inside the penalty area, laying it across. Wilfred Zaha, Palace lead. Daniel Podence up towards the corner of the penalty area, twisting and turning. Podence trying to pull it back. Neves lining up a shot, deflected, and brilliant save.
Wolverhampton is a proud and diverse city, proud of its history and proud of its people. When times are tough and life is challenging, Wolverhampton stands together. At Wolves Foundation, we are the heartbeat of the community. We support thousands of people across the city of all ages and abilities. Half of the people we work with are from areas among the most deprived 10% in the country. We encourage people to become healthier and more active. 92% of our participants have improved their mental and physical well-being. We develop lifelong learning and skills. 90% of our participants have improved their educational achievement. We work hard to build safe, strong, and active communities. 84% of our participants feel they have contributed to a safer, stronger, and more inclusive community. Football is such a powerful sport, which brings us together and drives us forward. At Wolves Foundation, we are proud of our work and proud of our impact. Creating opportunities and changing lives.
It's Matchday Live Extra, and as you can see, Lee Naylor is moving. Way! Sorry to disappoint all those who thought it was much better when he was frozen. Let's talk a little bit, Nails, about Adama Traore, who's come back into the team last couple of weeks. And I think it's probably fair to say, isn't it, that he is a kind of player who, whoever's going to be the manager or head coach moving forwards, he has the potential to really get this team going. For one reason or another, clearly it didn't work for him under Bruno Lage. Now there has to be a lot of hope that he can be the man to carry us back into where we want to be.
100%. For me, he's a key player for this team. He's fast, he's strong, he's powerful, and as you know, an opposition, he's just someone you wouldn't want to come up against. I think, Steve coming in, I think he's gone, right, I can see what he gives us, and I'll build everything around him.
That goal, Tomo, it starts with his chest down. I mean, it's a beautiful sweeping move, but the way he effectively starts there and gets on the end of it, that's something we've not seen from him. It's his first headed goal.
No, it's not. But like I said, just that's the threat that he offers, though, isn't it? So like, I know we're talking about he's scoring a headed goal, but I just think that his presence on the pitch is a massive thing to the club and to the team. I think that he scares people just with his presence being on there. They know what he can do, and people just can't switch off. And you look at teams when they played us when he wasn't playing, that they played quite a high line, or knowing that we can't get beyond them. They can't do that with him. We've got to double up or maybe even put 3 players on him because of the threat that he is. But also as well, Steve's actually shown some confidence in him by picking him every game. And that's all you want as a player. You want consistency to be playing each week. And that's what he's getting as well. Now it's up to him. Now he's in the team. He's in that starting 11 to take it himself, to score goals, to create goals, to cause problems for defenders. And Leicester coming here today, they'll know what a threat he is. And they'll know how much of a handful he is. But it's just making sure that you got that belief that you can put into him to go out there and threaten teams.
He strikes me, Nails. I mean, players are different, right? And some players respond to, a bit of aggression into what you want from them. Other players need an arm around the shoulder. He strikes me as the arm around the shoulder guy. But if he thinks you believe in him, he'll go out there and do it for you.
I think that's the same with any player. I mean, if the manager's believing in you and giving you that confidence, that's all you want to do. As a player, as Tom Alder touched on there, that You got a manager that believes in you. You want to go and play for them. You want to play for yourself. You want to play for the club. You want to play for the manager. And the more and more you give him that confidence, the performances will come in.
And in turn, that's going to create other opportunities. And we've seen Diego Costa getting stronger. I think we'll all agree he needs a goal to really get himself going. But what we saw there is Traore arriving in the box to a direct cross from Hugo Bueno. And that opens out something entirely different in terms of Adama's physicality as an option at the far post.
Yeah, it is. And so how many times have we said that we ain't got no people in the box? If you're putting the ball in the box or you know it's coming into the box, you'll go in there. So and you get bodies in there. And that's something, if we know that from wide areas that ball's going to come into the box, you'll try and get in there, as he did for his goal, because he's coming in at the back post. And he was a great ball in, great header for him to score the goal. But that's what it's all about. If players know that the delivery is going to be put into the box and they ain't going to have that extra touch, or they're not going to have a little bit more time on the ball, you can go and attack it. You can actually get yourself in there. And that's what happened with that goal. And it was a great goal, great ball in by Bueno. So, a great header. But like a touch on there, it's a great build-up play as well for the goals. And that's what we want to see. First half, I thought we played well. I thought we played well in the first half. Costa, again, if he's match fit, he's scoring that goal. He's took 3 touches, 1 too many. Once he's had that first touch, he should be scoring it with his second. And that just shows you just how things are going for us at the moment. But hopefully, with confidence from the manager, the coaching staff, players around him, that hopefully we can get on top of that.
Well, he is a remarkable character, Adama Traore, and he did a special interview in the last couple of weeks. Now, we know that the Premier League have been trying to highlight the No Room for Racism campaign. Just want everyone to have a little listen to some of a special conversation that Adama Traore's had around it.
I have good experience and bad experience about the being a black family and black a player. It was difficult. Why? Because you always have comments to my mom and to me like you don't have the age. You're more older than what you say. Comment like look this monkey and all these things since you little. And I always was running to my mom and my father saying what is going on, why they calling me that, or why they don't like me because my skin, and they said to me like, this is the world work, you have to work double, you have to do things double, and it is what it is, you have to take it, and little by little, and when I was growing up, so it's not only inside of the pitch, it's also the pitch,
Yeah.
We used to know we wasn't allowed to go in certain places, like if
As a family?
as a family and as a kids as well. If we want to go out, party, there are some places you can't go. If you want to go out to eat, there are certain places you can go. And we know that when we was black guys, we was talking each other, we know these places you can go, these places we can go, so we have to choose the places we can go because we know already. You go in there, you're not going in, so it was tough.
This afternoon, we are back at Molineux for our 3rd game in 8 days to face Leicester City. Now, it was a difficult night on Tuesday at Selhurst Park, losing 2-1 after taking the lead initially through Adama Traore's header, and leaving empty-handed was a disappointing evening for us. But today, Steve Davis will be looking to bounce back with another 3 points at home. And since that game, Wolves have also committed to keeping Steve Davis in charge until 2023, as there were no other outstanding candidates at this point, and we will continue to add to the backroom staff and the coaching team to give him additional support in the coming weeks. But today the focus is on Brendan Rodgers' side and facing them today here at Molineux. Had some memorable meetings with Leicester City over the years, including that iconic 4-3 win back in 2003 and a win with that same 4-3 scoreline here in 2019. The last time we faced the Foxes was also a 3-pointer back here in February when we won thanks to strikes from Ruben Neves Neves and Daniel Podence. Another one of those today would be fantastic. Now, Leicester City are currently below us in the Premier League table. They struggled at the start of the season, but in recent weeks they have made considerable improvements, including midweek when they faced Leeds United and came away the winners in a 2-0 win. And that will be bringing them today full of confidence to Molineux, and they'll be ready to fight for another 3 points here, and it'll be a tough 90 minutes for Wolves. But we'll have to see what happens today. We are also celebrating the Premier League's Rainbow Laces campaign. I've, of course, laced up and represented as we continue to improve visibility for LGBTQ plus people in sport.
Rainbow Laces and No Room for Racism, very important campaigns. You can see more of that Adama Traore interview via the Wolves social media channels. Starting lineup for today then, couple of changes. That man on your screen, Jose Sarr, in goal. Johnny returns in place of Nelson Semedo, right back. Nathan Collins, back from suspension, of course, on Tuesday night, continues with Maximilian Kilman. Hugo Bueno keeps his place. Talk about that in just a second. João Moutinho is back in midfield in place of Boubacar Traore, who drops to be amongst the substitutes. Adama Traore, Diego Costa and Daniel Podence, now almost a fixed front three for Wolves. Mateus Nunes and Ruben Neves making up the rest of the midfield alongside Moutinho. Tomo, let's talk about Moutinho coming back in first. I thought Boubacar Traore did really well on Tuesday. He obviously came off because of the yellow card, playing a key factor in that, and the way he plays the game. There's obviously plays it very differently to Moutinho. Which way would you have gone?
Yeah, I'll go for Moutinho's probably experience coming back into a game like this. We watched at stake with the result. But also as well, I thought he did well. He was trying to win the ball. He was pressing. If anything, as I said on Tuesday, I said, if anything, he's probably a little bit too eager at times. But I'd rather have that than a player who's standing off and letting people play around them. So and that was reassuring to see. He tried to get in. He tried to unsettle Crystal Palace. He was working hard. I thought that he played probably better in the first half. That yellow card went against him as well, didn't it? So he didn't want to go down to 10 men, and you can understand why they brought him off. But I think he'll be pretty happy with the way that he played in that game that he had. But yeah, they've gone from Moutinho's experience in today's game.
Lee Naylor, Hugo Bueno keeps his place. Understandable from the way he played on Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean, he played well, got an assist, and others think that, he had the shirt and he took it. He was so fair play to Steve and keeping him in. He's got to go again.
I mean, you watched quite a bit of him, because I know you watch an awful lot of the 21s and the under 18s. Did you expect him to make that kind of impact straight away at first team level?
I think when you found form at any level, you can go in the men's game. You can go at 23s, 18s, whatever. And I think he in the 23s has been brilliant. He's found his form. He's performing every week, not like without a foul. He's at 8 out of 10 every week, and he deserved his chance, and he's gone and took it.
Yeah, there's directness about him, isn't there, Tomo? And maybe that suggests why Johnny's come in. I know Nelson Semedo was ill in the week, which again is another reason why Johnny maybe comes in for Semedo on the other side. But Johnny to be a little bit more disciplined, maybe, to allow Bueno to really push on, because we can clearly see, I mean, he scored 5 goals in the last 7 games for the under-23s, the back end of last season. He clearly can get forward and be effective, so that's where you want Bueno running.
Yeah, you do, but also as well, it's amazing what confidence can give you. If you're playing well and confident in your own ability, all of a sudden things can happen, and that's what's happened with him. The ball in for the goal was a great ball in. It was great, but he's in a great area that we keep talking about that delivery, about putting it into an area where we can attack it, and he did exactly that. I thought he defended pretty well as well. And I think he'd be well pleased with his performance the other night. I thought that he played really well on that left back position, because they've got some good players in their side. Zaha, Elise, Salah, who are players who can cause you problems. And I thought that he did more than enough to deal with them.
Also has one of the most spectacular, obvious nicknames. He is known as Kinder Bueno. It's obvious, it's out there. I tried to put forward the Spanish Lee Naylor, but no one was having it. So they've
I
stuck
wouldn't
with,
have it even.
they've stuck with Kinder. Let's hear from Steve Davis, who's been talking ahead of this game.
I think you've seen signs of that already. A group that's committed and shows their potential, shows their talent, and can express that, because I think there's more to come from the group. On the other side of that, the flip side, we've got to start fighting more. We've got to start, doing the other bits, doing the bits that are really important as an individual and a group, where your interception, your tackles, your second balls, you're chasing back, you're working harder than the opponent. All those things are so important, added to the technical quality that we've got as well. So I think we've got to address both. We've got to try and get a balance, but I think at the moment the need is to work harder than the opposition, and I think we certainly are trying to do that now. We've seen that in the last couple of games, I think.
Steve Davis calling for his team to work harder and show some fight. We'll talk about that, and we'll discuss Daniel Podence and his role involved in all of it after we've looked back on the last time these two teams met. Dendoncker, first time to Semedo, down the line looking for the run of Dendoncker, who didn't just stand and watch, and he finds Semedo, infield to Neves. There's a nice sharpness about Wolves as Neves hits a beautiful crossfield pass to Daniel Podence, looking for the cross in, and it's off the head of Amati. Dendoncker trying to keep it alive. Jimenez to tee it up. Neves to strike it. Oh! Stunning! Absolutely stunning! Ruben Neves with another beauty! Nouri left-footed from the right-hand side, again an in-swinging delivery. It was just over the top of Kilman, bouncing round. Cody is in there. He's going to have to play it back to Daniel Podence, left-hand side of the box. Podence closed down by Tillemans. Nice little bit of trickery. Shapes up against Tillemans. Can he find room to cross it? Back onto his left foot, pulling back. Oh! Strike by Nouri is just wide of the near post. Tillemans into the Wolves half, out to the right side to Brighton. Ricardo racing up on the outside. The ball goes infield to Tillemans. Now on again for the run of Brighton. Brighton to the byline, and it's turned home and they're level. It's Lookman who's there, 5 yards out, central position. Brilliantly worked from Leicester's point of view. It's Wolves 1, Leicester 1, and it's game on again at Molineux. Space for Semedo out wide, but Kilman drifting infield away from one challenge and over the halfway line, and now looking to play it down the left-hand side. What a good ball for Nouri. Nouri up against Ricardo into the penalty area. Nouri still, he's just held up. He pulls it back to Dendoncker. Infield to Daniel Podence. Podence to strike it low! Daniel Podence finds the bottom corner. What a finish! What a hit! And Daniel Podence's long wait for a Premier League goal is at an end. Well, we saw his impact there, Daniel Podence. His role has continued to grow, really, and he's starting to be a pretty senior member of this group now. And are we seeing, kind of, as he's just celebrated his birthday this week as well, are we seeing him adapting, Tomo, and becoming actually the player that we hoped he'd become a couple of seasons ago when he first arrived? It's taken him a while to really kind of bed in there, and maybe he's benefited from a couple of injuries to other players, but now it seems like he's just a given on that team sheet.
Well, I'm just about to say this. It's the same as Traore, isn't it? So if you're getting picked regular for each week and you're playing in the team, that's what you want to do. If anything, so look, I'd probably want to, well, the same as anything, I'm sure, that to contribute to more goals, assists and things like that to it as well. Because he's got the ability, you know how quick he is, and he can change direction very quickly. In that penalty area, can put people on their back foot, and that's what I'd like to see him a lot more do in the games. So I just think that I still think he's got something to offer, but again, it's that arm around him saying, look, you're going to be in my team to start with. That's what you're going to do. We know what you can do. Just go out there and express yourself. Make sure that you go out there and perform. And that's what I'm sure that's what Steve's saying to him. And I'm sure he's saying it to a lot of players, but I think Podence can offer still even more for me.
He's such a frustrating player, isn't he? In some respects, Lee Naylor, in terms of, the flicks and the tricks, it's all there. Sometimes he does it in the wrong area, but you can see that there is potential there for him to really get this team going.
100%. For me, he's a player. Technical ability is right up there. He's not playing for me his best and what I've seen of him before, but he's getting there. And I think the more Steve plays him, the more we'll see his confidence grow and his talent coming out.
Like Tomo, though, I think both of you are insinuating there is more that needs to come from him. Is that something that can be coached, or is that simply, he's just turned 27 this week, right? So this is now the prime of his career. This is where you look at a guy who scored 12 goals in 80 appearances for the club. That's not enough for the talent that he has. So how do you get him to be the player that you want him to be? Is it him that has to do it, or can you coach it into it?
I mean, for me, it comes on him. He's at an age where now he should be putting performances in and adding more goals, as Tom was saying. For me, that's a massive part to his game that he needs to bring to the front. I mean, there's many occasions where we've seen him out here and he's turned down shots, whether that'll be confidence or just trying to set up others. But the more he shoots, the more you're going to score. And he needs to start doing that more.
Let's hope so. I say it was his birthday this week, so let's give him the benefit of having a little montage of the best of Daniel Podence.
Okay, let it be known. I'm working hard when I ain't on the phone. This ain't a home, this ain't a phone. Grind never stopping, I'm keeping it cold. Unlocking the door with the holy key. You supposed to be this close to me, and hopefully you understand G.O.D. Make me this cold, and I'm talking like no degrees. This ain't a fluke. I seen it way before it ever happened. He gave me the view. I had to put in my time on the TV. It coming in soon. I couldn't leave it all up to a variant or an experience. You gotta get up and do what it do. So complicated, homie, it's you. Always gonna wait until you in the mood. I've been running, came out gunning, stopped the fronting on your word. It's what you hear, not what you heard. I'ma hang on every verb. I'ma show you what it's worth. Every day I'm on the earth till they put me in the dirt. I'ma get into it first. Said I'ma get into it first. Until they put me in the dirt. Said I'ma get into it first. Said I'ma get into it. I can't break, that's the thing about me. I won't put these goals on freeze. I can't break, that's the thing about me. I won't put these goals on freeze. You cannot stop me, I mean this spinach and broccoli. Termination like I'm Rocky, lift the heavy, no spot please. Body back a beating and I get away scotch-free. And I'ma take control, unbreakable. I sense the face, the shakes is cold, the grace is more. Plus it's really the motivation, so it's thank you so. Hate that's on my neck, hard work on my brain. The easy road taking the left, it's on my chest. No time for regrets, faith in the Jimmy like Steph. Shooting is wet like clay, the party ain't maybe this way. I'm taking all of this life to the bank. I'ma deposit and see what it make. Shoot it, so it's reap. I pay the meter, I came in with Peter like Peter on water. I'm stepping in deeper, they know that I'm coming like follow the leader. I'm taking a chance today. Standing inside of the kitchen, I turn on the heater. I'm here to turn on my brothers and sisters and cousins and mothers until my believers get into it first. Said I'ma get into it first. Until they put me in the dirt. Said I'ma get into it first. Said I'ma get into it. I can't break, that's the thing about me. I won't put these goals on freeze. I can't break, that's the thing about me. I won't put these goals on freeze.
Just seeing that there makes me even sadder that we've been robbed of the Sasha Kalajic, Daniel Podence big man, small man partnership that we all dreamt that we'd be having this season. Also, big thanks to Tomo, by the way, for letting us dip into his music collection to bring out another banger there for the montage.
I'll keep thinking that's you doing it, mate. You're singing.
For Daniel Podence's birthday. Very quickly, is he going to be your key man, Tomo? What are you going for prediction-wise today?
Rather than my usual 2-1, I'm going to go 3-1 today. I think that we've always had decent performances against Leicester. I know a lot of them did end up in draws, but I think that Niles is going to go for an even bigger score than me, but I'm going to have 3-1.
Well, this is the embarrassing thing, right? Because as you know, we like to end with a highlights montage of a famous game between the two, and we've picked a 4-3 game between these two, but it's not the one that Niles is involved in. So look at his face, because he thought we were going to come on and highlight the fact that he was part of possibly one of the greatest comebacks in Premier League history, and we're not. But you're still confident of another 4-3, right, Niles?
4-3, all over it. There you go. I've pulled it here.
Just quickly, you were part of a 4-3?
Yeah, 4-3 out here, 3-0 down half time. Come out the game 4-3. Amazing half time talk for myself. And, you know, we managed
put things right.
managed to get the win.
I'll let you in on a secret. When we were discussing this before we started, as Tomo referenced the fact that Tomo was here watching that day, and I said, Tomo booed you off, Niles, and Niles' response was, I booed myself off that day. I mean, that's the kind of turnaround that the team created. Hopefully there won't need to be a famous 3-0 comeback today, but a 7-goal thriller. Let us know what you think. 3 of us will be there for full live radio commentary at wolves.co.uk and via the Wolves app for you in a couple of moments' time. Fingers crossed there are goals. Fingers crossed for a Wolves win. We'll leave you with a more recent 7-goal thriller between these two.
You claim you're moving on, yet I don't believe it. You say I do no wrong, then why are you leaving? You could have been the one, it happened for a reason, and I don't understand it, cause you had me, then you lost me. You had me, you lost me. You had me, yeah, you lost me. You had me, 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 yeah, you lost me. You had me, you lost me. You're looking for me in somebody else, yeah. But I'm one of a kind, and I'm way too kind. And you crossed that line, yeah. Why can't you see? You're wasting time, and you're not wasting mine. But I see the picture for you and I'm faking the truth when there's truth in lies, yeah. I look deeper to it, I screwed it nice. My paranoia, I utilize, yeah. You claim you're moving on, yet I don't believe it. You say I do no wrong, then why are you leaving? You could have been the one, it happened for a reason, and I don't understand it, cause you had me, then you lost me. You had me, you lost me. You had me, yeah, you lost me. You had me, you lost me. You had me, then you lost me. You had me, you lost me. You had me, yeah, you lost me. You had me, you lost me. You can't pick and choose me. Carry on and you'll see. I know you just use me to get over your truths. We should've never done this. Only one way from here. I can see above it. We know we don't want this. Stop holding on. You know you're wrong, but you're holding on. I guess I owe you one. You're wrong. You're in the background. Turning my back now and turning back around. You claim you're moving on, yet I don't believe it. You say I do no wrong, then why are you leaving? You could have been the one, it happened for a reason. You had me, and you lost me. You had me, you lost me. You had me, yeah, you lost me. You had me, you lost me.
goodness me. Put your thoughts into words after what you've just seen out there today.
Yeah, very good game. Very good game. But a game that we have to look at it. But a game that everybody enjoys. The results uncertainty. We took two goals up, then 2-2. Yeah, fantastic game of football. Two teams that really wanted to play and win the game.
You know, we knew it was going to be a tough game. I mean, there were spells in the first half where they were good as well, you know, but it was good for me personally to get the goal. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we need the 3 points, and that's what we got.
We were winning 2-0 at the break, and 5 minutes after, in the second half, it was 2-2. Bad for us in that moment. But I think in a game like this, when you win, you feel the greatest man in the world.
The law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, balls in my heart, my city and the map. I was in the field, you're sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down on the ground, now I'm up for the fight. See sight at the dark, now it's into the light. Out for more, down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Dumb dirt when my crap stay clean. Send for me, rude boy, I am me. Look at my count with the verses. Clean sheet in him and I'm on a verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the purses. Death match in your family in hearses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. You see out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.